Welcome to VGPM. I'm David, co-founder of VGSoft. This is a quick on-demand look at the platform built by an ABA practice for ABA practices. VGPM is organized around the real clinical and billing lifecycle from intake all the way to financial resolution. Everything connects, documentation drives billing, and billing is just the result of properly documented care, not a separate workflow you have to babysit. We'll start where you start every day, the dashboard. Everyone gets one scaled to their role. You'll see your calendar up top. And if you handle billing, your claims and invoices alongside it. Below that, the work actually waiting on you. Incomplete timesheets, session notes that still need finishing, your open tasks, and recent messages. The point is simple. The things that need your attention are the things that you see. Okay, so moving on to calendar and scheduling. Scheduling in VGPM is authorization-aware from the start. Your calendar shows your own appointments with a filter to focus on what you want, plus any recurring events listed below for quick edits. The more powerful view is the full schedule, a linear day view with your staff across the top, so you can see everyone's day at a glance, where the gaps are, who's off, and what's running. Events are color-coded by type: direct therapy, supervision, parent training, evaluations, time off, staff meetings, so the day reads instantly. You can filter by client, by office, by discipline, and you can even hide what's empty to cut the noise. Scheduling an event follows the way billing actually works. You pick the event type, the location, the client, a description if you'd like, the service type, the authorization, the billing code. On the next screen, you can pick a recurrence, never, daily, weekly, or monthly. You pick start and end dates, start and end times, pick the provider, any other attendees you'd like to be on the calendar. One thing worth noting, supervision is scheduled as its own event type, not bolted onto another appointment, which keeps supervision tracking clean. On the next screen, you get a review of what you did, and you can click schedule. All right, next up is data collection, and we'll start in the library. The library is where your master catalog of goals lives, where programs are defined before they ever reach a client's program book or a plan of care. We pre-populate it so you're not starting from scratch. Goals are organized with categories that are simple buckets that keep everything easy to navigate. Adding a goal is straightforward. Click the Add Goal button, give it a name, a category if you wish, pick the data collection method, give it a description. The description is where your teaching instruction, materials, and setting all get set up, and that's exactly what the staff see in the session. Below that, you see graphing and mastery criteria, your minimum to graph, a mastery target like 5 sessions across 80%, and your baseline sessions. VGPM can auto phase change through these for you, baseline to intervention, intervention to maintenance, even back into teaching and performance slips, based on the criteria you set. You can turn that off and drive it manually at any time. Okay, moving into the program books. The program book is the working clinical record for each client. Open a client, and you see every goal in their book with search, status, and organization by those same categories as folders. You can pull goals straight from the library, which brings all the detail with it, or write a new goal here and have it saved back to the library automatically. To do that, you just click Add New Goal, select it from the template if you wish. If you've written a novel goal here, you just click Add to Library and save, and it will save it in the program book and to the library for you. You can see a few extra screens here. Each goal gives you what you need at a glance: status, prompt levels, the teaching description that we discussed previously, and a graph. You can pin high priority goals like aggression or elopement so they can hold to the top of the session. You can nest targets under a long-term goal, so a broad goal like tacting 50 common objects hold its individual targets underneath. The graph is interactive, zoom and pan by date range, add phase change lines, go full screen, and export as an image or a CSV. There's a mastery criteria line, an automatic trend line, and an intro and met dates handled for you. Below the graph, you get individualized timestamp data, so you see not just what happened, but when, which is a real accountability and supervision tool. And each goal has its own chat thread the whole team can read. A clean way to push new teaching instructions or answer a question without pulling someone into a live session to supervise. Okay, so now next I'm going to show you in-session data collection. This is where we'll see what a running session looks like. From any calendar view, you open the appointment and enter the session. So I'm on the dashboard. I'm going to click my appointment. It pops up the appointment details window. You see who you're with and who's supervising, if there's a supervisor, and the screen adapts to the role. An RBT sees what they need, an admin or a BCBA sees more. To enter it, you click enter. You're going to see who you're with, notes across the top up here, a little bit of appointment details. The screen will look very similar to the program book with the categories, search, sort, list of goals on the left. Instead on the right, you see widgets. Inside every goal is a widget. You can pull the note up or down, save progress, and come back. Goals filter and search like the program book, and pin goals stay on top. Each goal type has its own interface, % dependent, % correct, count as you tap, plus frequency, duration with a timer, interval with a prompt, task analysis with steps you can chain forward, backwards, or as a total task, and yes/no goals. It snaps to your minimum to graph as you go up, and you can fix an entry on the spot if you mistap. Every widget carries its own teaching description and a comment thread, so instructions travel with that goals right into the session. Per day charting now spans every goal type, and you can enter data manually when you need it after the fact via the program book. Okay, so real quick, I want to note or talk about the quick note. The summary note is where VGPM saves clinicians real time. As you run the session, you jot quick notes, seen here in this quick note box, about what you worked on, reinforcers you used, and anything the parent reported, and then generate an AI summary that turns those fragments into a clean, structured narrative. You can edit anything, and the AI also cleans up spelling and grammar. So we hit the submit button. We can also pull these up here, edit them if we want, and they live inside the note as well. So the broader note, they also live over here, and you can see a note structure here with some of the widgets. This is just what's in this environment. This is fully editable later. But why this matters, I'm going to click AI generate so it'll think while I'm talking. Writing the narrative by hand is slow, and it's the thing that gets skipped at the end of a long day. Doing it in session with AI gives clinicians 10 to 15 minutes back per session and pushes documentation completion way up, which means notes get done, claims go out faster, and you stop chasing paperwork. Clinically, a note written during the session is simply more accurate. The AI assist now extends across the whole form with field level help, not just a single box. So more of the note writes itself from what you actually did. So you can see here, after I hit AI generate, you're allowed to accept or reject the entirety of the note, or you can apply or reject per box. It fills out everything you said based on what you gave it. This is a huge time saver and a real win. The instructions you see under this box is achievable via the form settings, where you can narrow the prompt that we're giving the AI based on what you want the output to be. So you're not stuck with our prompt. You can also get some refining things happening based on guidance that you give the forms as well. Okay, so the next thing to talk about is the plan of care. The plan of care is a clinical backbone, your behavior intervention plan, and VGPM treats it as a first-class document. You can generate it with AI assistance and autofill from previous plans. So I'm going to click into one and fill a few things out. I'm going to click the autofill last button. Obviously, this is not a very good example because it has just A's, but we can select evaluation events, and we can also select other context events for the AI to help. As you write, you can select goals directly from the form. So as you scroll through, you can add new goals directly here to the program book, leave a comment, put them in whatever status you want. This also adds them to the program book. The piece worth highlighting, goal progress charts are built right into the plan of care PDF. You set the charting window around the authorization period under review, choose which goals appear, and the charts render in the same visuals your clinicians already read. Locked as a point in time snapshot tied to the plan. For authorization renewals, that's the difference between an approval and a request for more information. The proof of progress travels with the plan instead of being assembled by hand. Regenerate the charts anytime the data changes before you submit. Okay, so the next thing to cover is going to be profile and settings, and they're kind of broken apart based on the user and the company settings. So user settings are going to live over here under your personal avatar. Profiles here, it collects all your demographic information, NPIs, social security numbers, addresses, all that good stuff. The admin box up here allows you to set specific things for the specific user. Company settings are going to live over here, and you can see all the things that exist. That's where you can build forms, administrative forms, plan of care documents, and session notes that attach to a service code. Permission groups controlling who can fill and edit and sign each one. Company settings hold your pay-to address, NPIs, taxonomies, tax IDs, mileage and time off rules, your billing cadence. That could be weekly, daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, whatever you choose, which drives the front-end billing automation. Offices are set up here if you run more than one. Licenses and certifications are tracked with expiration notifications, so CPR and credential renewals don't sneak up on you, and that rolls directly into a dedicated tracking report. Payer settings and fee schedules live here too, and we'll get to those in billing. Okay, moving on to files and authorizations. Files are just a simple storage area. Your own files, company files, and company restricted files only admins can see. To reach a client's or a staff member's files, you open their profile and you can upload documents or generate forms right there. So you can see new forms or files over here. Just select the button that you want to select and upload the file. Authorizations live under the billing screen. So I'll pull one of those up. Authorizations are the piece that protect your billing. Every client with an authorization gets one in their profile. You give it a reference number which rides along on the claim. Let me open one so we can actually look at it. So every client has authorizations that get listed in their profile, one to multiple depending on how long the client has been around. The reference number here you can see. We see the service level, the diagnosis, the date range, the status of the authorization. You can put them into pending, which lets you schedule and see the client while claims wait, then release them automatically when you move it to active. And VGPM tracks usage against the authorization, units used versus scheduled, approved, with alerts when you're at risk of overusing it, so you catch an exhausted auth before it becomes a denial. Just expand these to see units used, units scheduled, and the difference that you have left there per code. Okay, now we're looking at tasks. Tasks keep work moving across the practice, a shared punch list with owners, due dates, and priorities. You see tasks assigned to you and tasks you've assigned to others. There are a few types: a regular task, a file task, or a form task. These tasks exist so that when you need someone to send something like a CPR certificate and a form, when you need a signature, like an incident report or employee review, the system also generates tasks automatically. Anything time-bound, like an expiring license, becomes a task so it doesn't slip. Complete a task and it clears, and you can complete them in bulk rather than at one time. Okay, so the next group of things to talk about are clients and users. They work generally the same way. We're going to start on the clients page and look at that. This is mostly demographic data entry, so this will move fast. Both are list views with add and search functions. You can also add outside parties like providers, referring providers, so their information populates on a claim. A client profile gives you their appointments, non-clinical notes, and plans of care, all linked in one place. User profiles add a nice piece of staff lifecycle handling. Deactivate someone, place them on leave of absence that restricts access without charging you for them, or set a future departing date so when someone gives notice their access ends and your billing stops automatically right on that day. Okay, so a big part of running a practice is keeping track of things, and we do that via reports. Reports are your administrative view of the practice. The aging report shows how old your receivables are, bucketed from current out to 180 days plus, and it drills down, expanded by payer and to client. Expand any payer to see the specific clients behind that balance with a per client CSV export. So your billing team works the oldest, largest balances first instead of guessing. The payroll report breaks hours into billable PTO, non-billable, and travel, split into color-coded event type columns with a timesheet drill down so you can trace every number. There's a supervision report that flags who's below your supervision threshold, and a cancellations report view by client, provider, or office. Most reports export to CSV and filter by office and date range. The theme matches billing. Surface what needs attention and let you act on it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about billing, which is really payers and claims. So we're going to start with the payers. But billing is where VGPM is genuinely different, so we're going to spend a minute here. It all starts with a payer. For each payer, you set your fee schedule once, along with the rules that payer cares about. Default modifiers, whether an authorization is required, whether they want a referring provider, whether they want educational modifiers, whether you want guardian signatures, role-based pricing, even 24-hour time formats. Payers are particular, and they all want something slightly different. You configure that once upfront, and VGPM applies it automatically on every claim, so your front office isn't rekeying the same quirks all day. One thing to note here is this concurrent tab. It allows you to either toggle it on or off. If it's toggled on, we allow claims during the same time period to go out. So maybe a 97153 and a 97155 can both go out. If it's toggled off, we kick out the lower paying CPT code. So generally we'll keep the supervision and we'll kick out the RBT work at that point. So let's run over to the billing screen so we can look at a few things. It'll take me a second to get it set up and remove some filters and get a good date range so we can see most of the things. So while that's thinking for a second, this is where the system really runs the front end for you. When a claim has everything it needs, it's marked ready. And that means that when it's marked ready, it's ready to be sent to the clearinghouse automatically. You don't push a button to send clean claims. On the way back, when the payment matches what you billed, it reconciles itself automatically. What VGPM surfaces instead is the exceptions. Every claim carries a timeline that tells you exactly what's missing: a bad ID, a missing authorization, an absent diagnosis. Fix the underlying record and the flag clears itself. Your team spends its time on the handful of claims that actually need a human, not confirming that $900 equals $900. You also get reconciliation and adjustment guidance and claim status sync automatically as the clearinghouse and payers send information back. And this is the best part, it runs all the way to the family. Practices can take payments directly through the patient portal, and you can send an invoice with a Pay Now link that lets a family pay online with no login required. The automation flow from the claim through to invoicing, so patient responsibility balances and adjustments can. The whole idea is that billing should be the byproduct of good documentation and clean setup, with the software handling the repetitive parts and pointing you at the exceptions. Okay, so to close and then chat about next steps a bit, that's the overview of the platform. We covered a lot very quickly, and you'll have questions. The most common are usually around program books and billing, and we're happy to drill down and walk through any of those in more depth. If you'd like to talk through how VGPM fits your practice, reach out. You can schedule a time to chat with me or my team via the Calendly link on the same page where you found the demo. If you've already seen enough and you're ready to sign up, you can also do that directly from the same page. We'll spin up your instance and take you straight into onboarding. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. We'd really love to come alongside your practice and see if we can streamline operations for you. Hope to hear from you soon.